Yeah, I can see it. So I put my thumbs up, but I realise you probably can't see me. But yes, that's fine.
Yeah, I can only see the presentation, so I can't see anyone else. So, so yeah, so as I said, it's our Community Champions initiative is where we support community groups, charities, voluntary organisations, anyone within the community that is doing some good, that might be interested in using our bikes, whether it's for volunteers, whether it's for fundraising, whether it's giving or gifting to people that you support and your clients as well. Just a little bit about Beryl. If you don't know who we are we are now the new bike share provider within Brighton and Hove. So we replaced the old BTN network bikes, and as you can see by the map there, we have quite a vast array of places, 17 and counting now across the UK, which does put us up there as the UK's leading what you call micro mobility provider. And basically that means the vehicles in the green box you see on the side of your screen. So we run a cargo bike, we have a pedal bike, we have an e-bike, which is of course what you have in the area there. We have an e-scooter as well. So it's anything that we can help to basically achieve a local authority with their active travel and their transport goals. So that is effectively what micromobility is. As I said, the part that I head up at the business is called Community Champions. So as well as events and outreach and cycle training and safety training, I am sort of out and about. I'm kind of on the chalk face. I'm the sort of the dare I say it, the face of Beryl when it comes to an event. And again, the aims and objectives of the initiative is really simple. It's just a CSR program where we provide support to all of the communities that we serve, but rather than doing it through a direct financial way, i.e. a donation or a sponsorship, we offer the access to the bikes because we feel that is much more powerful, because it makes organizations that you are either working for, represent, think a little bit about how can we use these bikes to not only promote health and well-being, but also help to combat some of the environmental issues we face as well. As I said, our business goal is what we call bike share for all. It's trying to make our services applicable to as many people as we can, charity groups, community organisations, volunteers, and the underlying value of that is that we are a B corporation. So if you know what that is, it means we just have really sort of specific standards to meet, and effectively it's everything else in the business over profit, whether it's community outreach or sustainability. So we really pride ourselves on how that kind of drives this initiative. In short, anyone that applies, whether it's a community group, charity, organisation, anyone that is here today on this call, you effectively just get given access to our Beryl bikes, which are on street. So we will give you a bunch of codes, and I'll come on to how the service physically works for everyone in a little bit. But basically, when you apply and we sort of we connect, you give you these bunch of codes which are then distributed to beneficiaries. If someone within your organization, whether it's a volunteer, whether it's someone you are supporting, a client or staff, have those three things, a smartphone, an email address and a payment method, you can just access the bikes straight off the street. Now, I always put that up straight away because there will be some of you that support people or maybe work on behalf of people that don't have those things in their life, especially when it comes to low-income families or specific groups of people that maybe don't have that. So the second part is what I come on to next, where I say we then come along and help to do things like taster days. We can link you up with people like cycle instructors. So if any of the top bit isn't applicable to you, we can then still help to mobilize things like taster days, cycle sessions through those instructor networks as well, because we appreciate that it isn't for everyone and they don't all have a smartphone, especially if we're talking clients. Staff or volunteers probably more so, but there are lots of opportunities. The image you see on the left hand side there, that is actually with the AFC Bournemouth women's football team. We did a little community day with them as well, where they were helping us to reach some groups and sort of promote cycling. So as I mentioned, some of the people that these vouchers could be used for, volunteers. So a lot of the people that we support or groups like yourselves give up their time, and often volunteers don't necessarily get anything back. And obviously they know they are doing something good for free. However, it's nice for us to say, here's something as a thank you. So some of the case studies I'll show you towards the end of this presentation will highlight some of those volunteers that have used the codes. It could be a specific community project. We have, for example, a community allotment in our Watford scheme. And again, they are using the codes to get people out to help out because it's not on the bus route and it's a lot of young people that do it as well. So it could be something specific you have in mind that either promotes well-being, sustainability, or something to do with the environment as well. Supporting people who experience barriers. So this is where the client aspect would come in. So you could distribute these to people who may be struggling financially, and it gives them that opportunity to be able to get around the town or the city or the area they live in on the bikes as well. I mentioned already the link up that we can provide with things like cycling instructors, doing taster days, well-being sessions. So that kind of targets the sort of mental and the physical well-being aspect. And also some groups that we've given codes to simply raffle them off and use them for fundraising. We had a small organisation in our Bournemouth scheme, and they worked to make some fundraising happen for a project in Uganda, and it was basically raising some funds to put some children through school. And they asked us some codes, and they used it as part of the fundraising, and they raised something like £1,700 in total, and they achieved their goal. So it could be used in that way as well. There's no one particular way, and I'm hoping there's lots of light bulb moments going off at the moment, and people are thinking, oh, actually, I could use it for this or that or something else. So what you would get is £150 worth of free Beryl vouchers. I've highlighted the red box there because we have different pricing across all of our schemes, but effectively the only thing everyone here needs to know is you get provided with 20 vouchers, which are worth 50 minutes each of cycling time. £7.50 is the kind of monetary value. However, we find that organisations do come back and ask for another set or 3 sets or 4 sets. We've had some groups have 5 or 6 over the last sort of 3 or 4 years. So we don't have an infinite supply, but obviously we're never going to say no if someone says, oh, it's worked really well. Are we able to access another 1, 2 or 3 bundles in the future? But in short, you as your organisation would receive £150 worth of our ride vouchers, which is 20 bundles, and they're worth 50 minutes of cycling time each. One really interesting thing to know as well is that if you gave it to someone and they wanted another voucher, they can then use another one and another one and another one, because we appreciate that a lot of organisations we support are very small groups, and they may only be supporting or working with or helping a small number of people. So the voucher codes that they can access in the Beryl app are multiple redemptions. So how Beryl works. I will send the link that's on this, and the deck will get shared as well. But this is for everyone, not just our sort of community champions initiative, but how the service works. It is really this simple. You download the app, you touch it on the reader, which is on top of the phone, so on top of the bike, which then opens it up. You go on your ride, you park it back in or to any one of the bay, what we call Beryl bays across the town. Most of them are actually in the same existing areas as the old BTN bike share scheme, but anywhere that you find one of those areas which show up in our app, that's where you take it to and from. The bike itself is an e-bike. It has an unlock pad for the technology on the top, and it works the same as you do in a shop by paying on your phone. So if you have that access available on your phone, you simply touch the phone on the reader, bike comes open. If that doesn't work, there is a backup function on there, and it tells you the instructions on what to do. Seat's fully adjustable. It's a really solid frame. It's an electric motor, which means it's pedal assist. So if you had some people that are maybe have reduced mobility, or maybe are not as fit and active or able as they used to be, then the electric motor is really handy because it just pushes you gently along. And as we know, there are quite a few hills around in the area, so this is why the e-bikes are very useful. 2 baskets back in front as well to put goodies on, shopping. I've seen dogs, I've seen children sat in the front, I've seen all sorts, but please only use it for things like luggage or bags. And then there's lights as well on the back and front, which come on when there's when it's dusk. The back one is always on. Pricing wise, if you were to just pay as a normal customer, there you buy, as I said, bundles of credit. It doesn't charge you to unlock the bike. They're the sort of denominations that it comes in, and then cost wise it's just 15 pence a minute as a normal customer, but obviously the vouchers that you'll be given, that's all completely free. So I will send the link through separately, but it does tell you on our website every single location, where you can hire, insurance, because you're fully covered by public liability, all the ins and outs that people need to know is all detailed both on the website and in the app. So when you get a chance, or if people do, they can learn more about how it works. Quite an interesting thing to sort of tell everyone is that the codes that you are given as an organization, they're tracked. So in line with GDPR, we don't share any personal information, but it's non-personalized data that we provide back to yourselves in terms of those things there. How many trips did people that have had the codes taken in total? How many riders are there? What's their average journey length? What car trips were avoided and how much carbon has been saved? That's only a small sort of snapshot, but we do things like heat maps as well, which bay locations are the most popular. So all of those things are really great statistics to show your stakeholders and maybe people that are providing you with future funding as well, your commitment to those things on the screen there. And we have actually had organizations that have used our data that we've provided for case studies when they're writing bids for other travel initiatives or other funds, which have all been really successful. So that is provided to you as well, and I can see when any code gets used as well, and I can sort of work with you to update you on those things as well. Obviously, it goes without saying that it's a really nice opportunity for ourselves to maybe highlight and shine the spotlight on the work that you're doing. Our social media team, they're very proactive at putting out posts when we're working with the organisation. We're currently in the process of updating and changing the website, but we are looking to feature some partners as well. So if that's in someone's mind that they want to be involved with, then obviously do let us know. And then I'll just finish off with a couple of case studies, so you can see how some of the codes have been used across other parts of the UK with people that we have supported. First one is in our Watford scheme called New Hope. They are a homeless charity, and they provide services not only to support people who are out on the streets, but also getting back into society as well, who have experienced issues. And they've been using them for their staff to do their outreach across the town. If you've ever been to Watford or know the area, it's a very tightly packed, dense town, and they find that the traffic and the congestion is horrendous. So therefore, using the bikes to get out and about has been really useful because it's often quicker, especially when it is during busy periods. They have also then given some of the voucher codes to some of their clients who they're helping to get up on their feet as well. Again, just bear in mind my opening point where I said that it may not be applicable to everyone if they don't have those ways of accessing it. Okay, so that is an example of an organisation, like Watford scheme. We have a young carer charity in our Bournemouth scheme where I am based, and they have lots of initiatives, but one of the things we've supported them on over the last couple of years is their employability program, and they're working at assisting and getting those young carers back on their feet, whether it's back to college, part-time work, getting to appointments, and again, for them to be able to access the bikes has been really, really beneficial, because not many of them have got things like driver's licenses, access to cars, those sorts of things. So to be able to jump on a bike has been really beneficial as part of that initiative. We have Community Action Network, so very similar. Obviously, to Brighton Hove Community Works, where they are the kind of overarching body within the Bournemouth, Poole and Christchurch area, where we have our bikes and scooters, and they have been instrumental in providing the links between people like yourselves and us. They've had numerous bundles of codes, mainly during the pandemic when they oversaw the vaccination drive. So they're encouraging people to come in, obviously in a different way, and then they had those vouchers which they were giving out. But their support has been invaluable because it's allowed us to contact groups like yourself that we may not have heard of or seen or met before, because they have those links in the network. So that's a little bit of whistle stop tour. Hopefully I was clear on most bits and pieces. I'll stop sharing the screen now, and then if you have any questions, I'm more than happy